would these guys be offended if they were left unprotected? I don't think Carey Price would. Martin Giordano, probably not the same story.
How about that?
I've been around the block a few times and been through some expansion drafts with teams that I've worked for. Any guys that are left unprotected are offended that they're left unprotected. You don't want me? I'm not part of this?
Good morning, Rod Squad.
I like it.
That's new.
Let's go. Thank you, Rick Regan. Welcome to the RP Show. Where's my bell? No breaking news. It's just Tuesday, and we're ready to talk sports. Canada's daytime sports talk show is taking flight, coming to you from the bunker. I'm excited. Moose is with us. You got your Tom Brady bunny hug on today. Any particular reason?
No, it just it's a bit of a cloudy rain. We're getting a reprieve from the heat. It's low 20s and raining, and I was thinking NFL, and away we go.
The weather sucks. Don't you think?
A little bit. I'm okay with it though because I can wear this.
Yeah, fair. Well, we got 9 months to wear that stuff.
I was out last night for a little bit of a walk, and I'm like, it's cold. And it's windy. I'm like, and I look, it's 25 degrees, and I'm complaining.
Weird. I know. For our American friends, what's that about? Mid-80s?
80, yeah. 80
Yeah.
something.
Big show today. Fun show today. Joining us from CHCH Television in Hamilton is the great Clint Bubba O'Neill. This guy can talk all kinds of things. NFL, CFL, NHL, you name it. Maybe we'll sashay into some Olympics talk. I would think Bubba would be down with that.
Mm-hmm.
Bubba told me that he's walked into coffee shops in Hamilton and they've been talking about our show and things that we've said.
Wow.
He's like, it's catching on, man. And they watch out there in Southern Ontario on Cogeco Cable, on the Game Plus TV network, and Rogers, of course. So, yeah, Bubba's going to be with us in hour one. And then in hour two, how about this? Rich Sutter will be joining us, the Columbus Blue Jackets pro scout, longtime Sportsnet analyst and 13-year NHL veteran. Richie Sutter's going to join us. And from Smoky Lethbridge. And the reason I know that is I called him about an hour ago. He's like, hey, give me a call. Let's go over what we're going to talk about. And I said, how are things in Lethbridge? And he goes, Smoky, forest fires. And I said, Rich, where's the smoke coming from? He's like, it's coming from you guys. And I said, well, it's about time, because usually we're getting smoked out where we are, right? It all sucks, of course. But I'm just saying. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that all the air across Western Canada is smoky and it's coming from us. Hopefully they get that under control here soon.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. They're working
Which reminds me, that's part of what will come up in our Quick Six. But also, Gannon LaRocque will be joining us from the Victoria Royals. Things are all tying in real nicely here because the Seattle expansion draft is Wednesday. The NHL draft is this weekend. And Gannon expects to hear his name called. And then free agency opens next week. So it's just an absolute Stage 5 gong show in hockey right now. It's just wild. Which reminds me, let's get into the Quick Six show topics, please. Director Jordan. As always, these are topics as important to me. And this will probably surprise you a little bit. But what I will be doing tonight is watching Game 6 of the NBA Finals. And Nelson's talking about it. Nelson's here, our content creator. We're talking about the pressure on CP3 tonight, and he mentioned, what's CP3's record? 0-12 with this referee they named tonight? I got to think that there's a lot of heat on Chris Paul.
Huh.
And I only follow the NBA closely come playoffs, and I really enjoy it, and it could end tonight. The Larry O'Brien could be handed out tonight in Milwaukee. The Bucks are up 3-2, and like I said, the referee crew has been named, and Chris Paul is 0-12 with this certain ref. I'm like, it's not. Chris Paul needs to get going. 7 p.m. Mountain tip-off, and I didn't watch the Blue Jays get spanked last night because you can watch the Blue Jays every day. The NBA season could end tonight. That's exciting.
Yeah, and when I was flipping through them, 11-0 Jays in the first inning, I'm like, okay, I'm not watching that today. But you're right. The NBA could be won today. And it's just really tough. You talked about CP3 and the Suns. They go up 2-0, and then to drop 3 in a row. They can't lose 4 in a row and go out this way, can they? After the run that they've been on and the way they've captured that city and been the Cinderella story. So I really hope that Phoenix can extend it tonight. I really do.
Hey, guys, put that comment up, if you don't mind, from John Kirby, who's watching in Edmonton, the city of champions. He said Rod should do topics that are important to the viewers on the show. Block him. Block him. Not dealing with his crap today. John, goodbye. Thank you. Block him. Point 2, CFL Notes. There are quite a few, and speaking of the smoke that's in the air, Winnipeg Blue Bombers cancel practice today. I got an email from the Blue Bombers regarding that, and it's because of air quality. So, remember, we've been talking about this with the football guys. Remember 2 years ago when that game in Edmonton almost wasn't played because of the forest fires? Mm-hmm. Here we are again. And so what would you do if you're Mike O'Shea? What would you do? Bring the guys inside and do a walkthrough or something? Send them home?
Yeah, try and do whatever you can, right? I mean, it's a day where you could maybe dive into film study. You know, you could go through game plans. There's always something to do. And I think that's what's important. Mike O'Shea will figure that out and make sure that the players are safe. I mean, doing a workout and getting it in, it's important because you have limited opportunities on the field, but whether it's smoke, whether it's that, it's not worth, having any effects. Yeah, there's always something to do. So this becomes an inside day potentially, or maybe they find a way to work out and put it all in.
Well, I don't think they'd want to send them back to their dwellings because they're still under COVID lockdown. So yeah. I think you'd want to keep them at the facility for as long as you could. But good on Mike O'Shea, concerned about his players' health and safety, canceling practice today because of air quality in Winnipeg. The Blue Bombers announced that they have signed free agent kicker Tyler Krapina, who's a great friend of the show. I knew that he wouldn't be out of work long, released by Montreal last week. Derek Dennis, interesting story here. Big name, left tackle for was with the Edmonton Elks, the Calgary Stampeders, the New York Guardians of the XFL, and I think he had a cup of coffee and a Danish in the NFL. You've seen the story with him. He said he regrets signing with the Edmonton Elks this offseason because he's got to deal with BS. I've dabbled a little bit in this story, and it just seems case of boy meets girl, girl meets boy, sign a contract, doesn't want to play there, wants out of his contract, and the team says, you have a contract. End of story. And the Elks released a statement that said he didn't officially retire. He announced he's not playing this year, but wants to play next year. He signed a 2-year deal. I'm losing patience for these types of stories. You signed a contract. That's the way that it goes. Am I missing something?
Not really. Not really. It's now becomes a negotiation. I mean, you can't sign a 2-year contract, decide not to play for the first year of it, and then get paid. And I don't know that Derek Dennis is asking to be paid for this year of the contract. I don't think you can just say, all right, I'm here. Nelson shows up for the first year. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to work for 6 months. Why did I hire you now? But I want to come back in 6 months. I don't know. It's delicate, and I never want to see the player upset. I never want to see the team upset.
Derek Dennis is a great... he's a great friend of this show. He's a great dude.
Yeah.
But I think when we had on Brian Ramsey yesterday, the Players Association executive director, I think it was hinted that all is not well in the Canadian Football League contract-wise with the players. That's about all I have to say on that. Other than the fact that there are no preseason games in the CFL this year, there were none in the NFL last year, and it brought about our poll question today. Call it up here on Twitter. It was a holdover from yesterday. It was a leftover, if you will. The question is, should preseason games be eliminated in sports? I'm very interested to see the results. 85% on Facebook say no.
That's right.
68% on Twitter say no. Because I thought it was really that I was in the minority. Me, coaches and GMs, really the only people that care about preseason games. And they're just using it as evaluators. It just seemed like the fans hated them. The media really didn't like them. And I remember a few years ago watching an NFL game, a preseason game. It was preseason game 4. I don't think any vets were playing in it. The game was like 4 hours long. John Gruden was doing color. It was on ESPN. Do you remember that game? And near the end, it's the fourth quarter. Nobody's left in the stadium. Scrubs on the field. And John Gruden's like, I'm sorry, folks, that you had to watch this game on television.
Wow.
And I'm like, no, are you not supposed to sell the game as the color? Are you not part of whatever? We used to do that as announcers, but they don't do that anymore. And I was sitting there thinking, after Rob Van Stone said on Friday that preseason games are overrated, dang it, maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. And the coaches and GMs, they don't seem to matter anymore. Have you noticed? It's all about the business guys and how much money can we make and greed. Maybe we can find a way to not have preseason games and accomplish the same thing. But apparently the majority of people don't agree with that. They still want preseason games.
Well,
I do. I want them. I don't want to see them go away, but I'm usually in the minority, I'm finding out here.
Well, for most teams, the preseason's a chance to see the backup quarterback, which we love, to see his potential. A chance to see the backup receivers and the rookies and the young guys getting more playing time and get you excited about the future of the team, to go through all of the position battles and to, prognosticate about who might make the team, who might not, who looked good, who didn't. How much, keeping this uber local for a second with Saskatchewan, where we've, kind of grown up watching the Riders, how much fun did we have watching Tino Sinceri light up the CFL preseason? And we thought, man, he is the future. Now we're excited to have him on the bench.
Right.
And we love watching that. Sure enough, he didn't pan into that as a pro quarterback, but it was fun. And that's what preseason can do. But I know the players probably don't want to have to play preseason. They don't want to, risk injuries. They want to play for real. And do we need it? We're going to find out, especially in the Canadian Football League this season with no preseason games. If the games aren't rusty and sloppy in the first 2-3 weeks, then maybe this is the beginning of the end of the preseason.
John Kirby in Edmonton, remember him?
Oh, yeah.
He's written in and says, Rod, have I been banned from posting on your show and liking your page on Facebook? Well, John, you just posted, so you tell me. You tell me. Just smarten up, okay? Keep your smart-ass comments to yourself. The warm-up, by the way, is brought to you by Ecol Electric. Come check out our new Regina Data and Lighting Center. Ecol Electric, let's get to work. So moving on, the viewers seem to know what was coming here. It's NFL Notes. Training camp's opening in a week. The thing that I wanted to talk about with the NFL is Aaron Rodgers. Adam Schefter reported this morning, the NFL's top insider, that Aaron Rodgers was given a contract extension offer by the Green Bay Packers this offseason that would have made him the highest paid player in football, and he didn't want it. Now, ESPN's Get Up this morning, which I watch every morning, spent 2 solid hours on this. And I'm like, guys, come on. You're turning me off the NFL, and I didn't think that could be possible. Is there no other story than Aaron Rodgers, really? The NBA Finals could end tonight. Major League Baseball has got some unbelievable things happening, and it's all about Aaron Rodgers. So there's that. That's the news today out of Cheeseland. But you had another really big story that the viewers have actually brought up.
Cam Akers. And the number one running back for the Los Angeles Rams in training has ruptured his Achilles and will be out for the season. This is less than a week before training camp, or a week, I guess, to the day for most teams in the 27th when they open camp, and he's out for the year. And this is a big year for the LA Rams. They just sent Jared Goff to Detroit and brought in Matt Stafford, which apparently is the one thing that's missing from making them a Super Bowl contender again and getting them back to the Super Bowl and winning it. And now your leading runner is gone for the year. And another Achilles. We've seen it north of the border, but now they're experiencing it south of the border. It's just a weird year, man, when it comes to that part of the body.
I was talking to a sports trainer type last night, and they said, as far as these strength and conditioning coaches go with the popped Achilles, and you saw the Players Association executive director pointing the finger right at some CFL teams yesterday. That person said to me, works in the fitness industry, that they don't know what these players were doing in the offseason before they showed up. Like, are the teams culpable? Absolutely. But can you see how this might have happened? Absolutely. You sent home training workout schedules for those players and what they're supposed to do, but you still don't know if they did them and stuck to them or what else they might have done. It's a horrible situation. But again, in the case of Akers, the Players Association in the NFL will be looking after him, same as the CFL Players Association will be looking after their guys. Was something done incorrectly? Possibly, and that's why there's an investigation. But as we found out, it's not just the CFL. Point 4, NHL expansion draft notes. I just can't believe how much people are going off about this. And it's hilarious because I see Craig Button on SportsCenter saying on Craig's list that the Seattle's not going to take Carey Price. I'm listening to Brian Boucher this morning on NHL radio driving in here. He thinks they should. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Smart guys. Nobody knows what's going to happen, and I think it's amazing. What time's that draft on tomorrow?
I know.
Are we going to throw a party?
Oh, we should. Yeah.
6 Mountain, Clark tells me.
Sounds like we'll be at the Four Seasons potentially watching the expansion draft. But it's just there's so many different ways to put this puzzle together of a franchise. And it all depends on what Ron Francis's philosophy is for building a team. If he wants to build it from the back end out, Carey Price is your best option. And spend your money on Carey Price, a top pair defenseman, and let your forwards kind of go young and go cheap and let them develop and try and win a lot of low-scoring games. Or you try and build it up front first with speed and with offense. And there's enough capable goaltenders that you can go a little cheaper in net. It all depends on your philosophy, right? And what is Ron Francis thinking right now, the way he wants to build a team? Because when he was having success in Pittsburgh, they had Mario, they had Yarmir, they had Tom Barrasso.
He was playing.
He was on the third line, right?
Running it.
But he wasn't building that. Is that the type of team that Ron Francis wants to build? Right? There are some good pieces in this expansion draft available, but the price tag on them makes it really difficult. You can't have everything.
Yeah.
So you got to choose.
It's going to be awesome. So we've got a little over 24 hours to plan our Seattle expansion draft party. Why the hell not? How about that? Let's do it. Why not? We've been waiting a year and a half to have a party.
Oh, yeah.
Nelson, you're in town. What do you say? Okay, we'll find a spot. Point 5, the Blue Jays rolled in Boston last night, 13-4. Ouch. Dropped him 7 back in the division, but that's okay. Snapped a 5-game slide for Canada's team. Point 6, I hit Peyton Manning to Monday Night Football. Did you see this? He's going to do selected games with his brother on Monday Night Football. I think we've all been waiting for the day that Peyton Manning would be in the broadcast booth for the Monday Nighter.
Oh, yeah.
And the National Football League, and the stars have aligned, and the football and broadcasting gods have come together to make it happen. We'll talk about that a little later on. Sean McCormick's watching from the Game Plus control room in downtown Toronto. He says, I think Seattle should take Price. It worked for Vegas in building around a strong goalie. Price is still in his prime. He proved it this past season. And thank you, Sean, for chiming in. Thanks for being part of the team here at Game Plus Television Network. And I must say something, and I have to apologize. Math is not my strong suit. I said yesterday that $10.5 million would be 8% of the salary cap. It's actually, I thought about it last night. It's more like 12 to 14% of your salary cap. I'm not the numbers guy, okay? I'm just a pretty face. You're the numbers guy.
That's right. I should have had that on the spot.
You thought it, didn't you?
Well, 10% is $8 million, right?
Right.
8.1 million is 10%.
So it's more than that. It's like 12 to 14. So even more reason not to take a goalie who supposedly has injury problems, because we always believe the teams when they say that. You're going to commit 12 to 14% of your payroll to one guy. Yeah, I don't think so. But hey, we'll find out tomorrow night. We got to have a bet on that.
Yes, we do.
Bubba O'Neill joins us next. This has been a fantastic warm-up as usual. You're watching on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube and Facebook live streaming, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.